It's time for some hostile therapy.
All right, welcome to Hostile Therapy with Big Red. And it's Thursday night, and we got a line of topics to go crazy about today. Hoping everybody's week is this good. Main topic for today, though, we're going to talk about what is more important, the wedding or the wedding vows. There's a lot of people. I know we've heard before. We heard the term bridezillas, where they seem to take the wedding way more seriously than the actual marriage vows, wedding vows, however you want to say it. They're worried about, how the cake looks, how the dress looks, how the makeup looks, who's invited to the wedding, even how the reception is. And they put all this work into the wedding, but that same energy is not put into the marriage. In fact, they're ready to give up altogether on the marriage if one thing goes wrong, if they're not perpetually happy during the marriage. And we all know relationships in any place, in any form, and you can say you go into a restaurant, your favorite restaurant, I'm pretty sure if it's been around for more than 20 years, it's at a point where it's had its ups and downs. Let's just say, let's name a couple. McDonald's, people used to love their fries. That's what it used to always be about, with those crispy golden fries, at least in the 80s. Then they added some things like value meals and I don't know if people remember, they could supersize the food. Then they went through a period where people would complain about that the food made them fat, even though it was them who ordered it. People had lawsuits, people had documentaries dedicated to how fat McDonald's made them. What's up, LT?
I'm here. My bad, y'all. My bad, viewers. You'll see me in a minute.
Okay. We'll see you, man. I was just going on a little diatribe about the topic tonight. McDonald's went through its ups and downs, and they changed how they cook their food. People talk about how crappy the food tastes now. Now they're trying to find different ways to get customers. KFC was the same way. KFC used to charge $30, $40 for a bucket of chicken. And this is...
Goddamn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the 80s, when things were cheaper in the 80s, where gas could be got a gallon for 50 cents.
No, so $30 for a bucket of chicken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a big thing because you did not get to experience how much crack and it's the 80s too. So how much crack they put in their chicken. It's not what it is now. It's not what it is in the last 20 years. Their chicken was that good that people would wait until payday to save up to buy a bucket of chicken. It could be 8 or 12 piece. And we didn't want to share with anybody. But I'm comparing this to the wedding, where people are putting so much work into how a wedding goes, and they're not putting that much work into a marriage. And I'm saying with these two things, McDonald's and KFC, there's up and downs in how businesses go, but people still have to work on the business to keep it flourishing. It's the same thing with marriage. There's going to be ups and downs. You have to stick to it to where it flourishes. And whether people want to believe it or not, marriage is a business transaction, whether you want to believe it or not. And when the business doesn't go well, you split and go your separate ways, and you divide assets, just like you do in a business. Same thing with a marriage. But it seems like people, or I'm gonna say mostly women, because guys not really bridezillas or groomzillas, whatever the term would be
Yeah,
for
that
guys.
was something.
When it comes to a wedding, women really care about how they look, dress looks, the cake is, how people perceive them during the wedding, how happy they look, how the pictures come out, and they put so much work into it. I wish they would put that much work into the actual marriage, which is actually going to count for something.
I'm not gonna give a fuck about the marriage. Because see, the marriage isn't something that you can show to people over time. The
Right.
wedding day, that's something you can show off right then and there. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. That is true. That's kind of like what Facebook with relationships, where people put only the good parts up there.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Breezy?
Hey fellas,
What's up, Breezy?
how y'all been?
We're doing good. We're talking about that video you sent. Talking about that bridezilla. Yeah, the woman that she threatened her guy that he wasn't going to marry him if she didn't get certain things made
yeah.
at the wedding.
Yeah, what about it?
Oh, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how there's a lot of people call bridezillas. That's what I would call it. And that's a term too. I didn't make that up. Where it seems that people care more about the wedding than the actual marriage. They care more about the wedding than the wedding vows. The wedding vows will be a solemn promise that through thick and through thin, you're going to make this thing work. But it seems like people put way more work into how you look, how people perceive you on the wedding day versus how you'll look if you split from your husband or wife within the first couple years or so, because y'all can't get along because of whatever reason, finances, infidelity, or just arguing with each other for whatever reason.
People are not loyal today.
What's up?
I don't think people take marriage serious.
They don't. They can't. And I said it is a business transaction, whether people want to look at it or not. People come together in a marriage to bring together whatever strengths both of them have to make them stronger, the union stronger, so they can persevere in life. And people don't look at it as like soon
Or
as
security, right?
What's that?
Or security.
Or security, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there's security on both sides in one form or the other. It doesn't have to be just financial, because we were talking about that the other week. What someone brings to the table doesn't always have to be financial. It can be other things,
They don't want to be lonely.
That is something too. But I mean, if I think if more people were to look at it as, and like I said, it's not about love. I mean, if it's about love, then why get married?
Huh?
Why? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why get married?
Oh, you said why? If it's not about love.
If it's just about love, why get married?
It is enough.
I mean, just stay together, just shack up, if that's the case.
But the Bible says you got to get married.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is a lot of people, they follow the rules of the Bible for marriage, but they ain't even Christians. So why would they follow this one rule for this? If
the Bible also has rules on slavery.
That's true, but those rules also been disavowed too.
They directly correlate with marriage, though. Like the Bible says that you can marry a woman under the age of 20-something.
Okay, and those some of those things have been amended too over time. Old Testament thing.
Unless you in certain parts of the South.
Yeah. But I'm saying, okay, so let's even say that is relevant to today. If you are atheist, if you study Islam and all these other things, if marriage is a Christian institution, why even follow it? I mean, why not just shack up? Why, if you're an atheist, why follow the rules of a solemn promise to get married under the rules of God if you don't believe in God? Just shack up.
I don't know. Well,
And maybe that may be a reason why. It's like, I mean, there's no push behind a religious figure to stay together if you don't believe in it. So why even do it? Just shack up. But even besides the point, like I said,
in the legal times that we live in, where everything has to be documented on paper, you could be shacking up with this person and if you don't make it to that amount of time where it's considered a common law marriage, let's say you were to pass away or they were to pass away, and you don't have any access to any of their stuff. Like you can't even properly take care of them if something were to happen because y'all didn't take the proper legal steps of getting your marriage officialized. Is that a word? Officialized? Officially official on paper.
That's what happened to Chadwick Boseman's girl. I don't know, I think it was his girlfriend.
Now he married her before he died. He did the right thing. He went ahead and did that. He made her Mrs. Boseman.
I thought she had trouble getting some of the stuff passed away though. And maybe
I want to say your I want to say that was Lauren London and Nipsey Hussle because they were not married.
Okay. All right. I figure I was mixing somebody up. But yeah, and that was a big deal too. I mean,
yep, she had to go through a whole bunch of legal loopholes, like doing a movie with a bunch of Jews like you people. But she had to go through a bunch of legal loopholes in order to get access to his estate because she was, even though she had a child by this man, she has a whole living child by him. On paper, though, you don't mean anything to him. We don't recognize girlfriend. We don't recognize baby mama. And even though she was a lot more than that, they were dating. They were in a committed relationship to each other. On paper, it don't say that.
Yeah. Well, and that brings me back to what I'm saying earlier. If we stop looking at it as just something to do when you're in love, actually a business thing. When you bring two businesses together, like who somebody just merged recently, let's say HBO Max has bought out Paramount, I think, and a couple other things. That makes HBO Max stronger because it's going to put more eyes on the streaming app. It's going to bring them more revenue. It's going to make them stronger. And the other people that are involved in the deal. That's what a marriage is supposed to do. It's supposed to bring people together. You're supposed to get those certain laws and amenities you get as a married couple. It was tax breaks. It's a business deal. If you're not going to take it that seriously, just stay shacking up. Just say you're in love. Don't do nothing else. Don't worry about it. That way. If it ends, you don't have to worry about splitting nothing. You don't worry about splitting the kids up like that, unless, if you got, you probably still got to split it up if you do have kids, but you don't have to worry about splitting up the house, other finances. You keep it to yourself. But back to this Bridezilla, it puts so much work in where the finances go before they actually jump the broom, per se.
Yeah.
Where's the thought process that we're going to keep this thing going? We're going to keep this train rolling. When all she's worried about is herself. And that is the other thing about marriage. The marriage ain't supposed to be about yourself. It ain't supposed to be about you anymore. It ain't supposed to be about what just your partner can do for you. It's supposed to be about what you can do for your partner too. If they say you're supposed to come together as one, her body is mine, his body is mine, you're supposed to look out for each other in the ultimate respect. And that's not done in a lot of weddings I've seen. And it passes on through the years in a marriage. You got to fix that before you even get to the wedding day, I think, anyway.
Most definitely. But that's, and you know what, it's kind of a hard thing to discuss because, I mean, one, it's funny that we're even discussing what's more important, marriage or the vows. We're not even taking the appropriate steps to, we don't see the marriage as important first. So I don't even think we make it to the vows sometimes. I don't even think we get to just be in love or literally let our being in love develop into marriage enough for it to get there. Like, honestly, this Bridezilla shit is something I only see with, them people.
Oh no, I've seen it with ours too.
I don't watch it enough, and that's the thing. I don't, because I mean, if we're leaving it or medicating it, I'm medicating the fuck out of it because I have no care. I'm a man, and that's just my perspective on it. The wedding day isn't for me, so I have no tie or connection to it. Like, I'm not going to be able to pick the color. I don't really think I'll be able to pick the venue.
Why you say that? Why you think the wedding day is not for you? It's for both.
Because, well, the woman that I am with, the woman I plan on marrying, from the time that she was a little girl, like most little girls, they already have their dream idea of their wedding in their mind. That's what a little girl is conditioned to have. That's what they're conditioned to dream of. Us little boys, we're not conditioned like that. And also the wedding day, it doesn't really cater to us. Like, nobody is cheering and clapping and crying when you don't even see us walk down the aisle. We already standing there. We standing there waiting, like, where my bride at?
We scared to death when we're waiting down that aisle. Like, damn, shit, did I make the right decision?
Oh my God. That is
Shaking in
terrible.
my boots. Like,
You
it's
got
too
to deal
late.
with her father trying to say some last minute threats and shit. Like, dude, they don't get the fuck out of here. I already did that thing to your daughter.
Ooh,
You're supposed to wait, though.
what?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we already take the steps to shack up. We take the steps to be in love a lot more expressively, a lot more flamboyantly, and a lot more intimately than back in our parents' time. So marriage is kind of lost the only value marriage has is when you are with someone that you truly love and you're trying to build something on paper.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me play this video right quick, and we'll get back to discussing this. In case you haven't seen this video yet, LT, it's a 2-part video, and it's going to talk about this lady who wants certain things done at the wedding, and if they are not done, then she lays out a threat to her fiance at the time.
Oh wow, okay.
Being ungrateful.
You see what I want.
All right, so let's say in an event I couldn't afford no wedding like that.
Then we wouldn't be getting married.
So that's what it's about.
That's
then
exactly what
it's about the money.
It's not about the money. It's about what I want, and what I want is.
But I thought what you wanted
wedding.
was me, though. I thought we was doing this for our love.
We can do that for love. That's
See,
nice.
I just want to live like a normal, little, nice, little, happy, quiet life. But
That's
she want to
nice.
be all festive.
Yes, because I'm a festive person.
And try to keep up with the
and I
Joneses.
like the
Like
best.
that's not what
I
it's
don't even
about.
know the Joneses. I'm a festive person, and I like to have the best, and I deserve the best. And that's
That
what you said
social
you was
media,
going to give me.
that social
so then
media
do that.
stuff
Live
about
up
your
to your
head.
words. Stop being cheap.
That social media stuff
Live
about
up to
your
your
head
words.
messed
Stop
up.
being
For
cheap.
real.
I'm not getting married at no
I mean, there's nothing cheap about me, but I'm just saying
that's like a joke right now.
we could be using those expenses for other stuff.
Okay, you can make more money for other stuff after we get my wedding that I want. So don't ask me to marry you. Don't ask me to marry you at your courthouse. That don't even sound right.
So do you want to marry me or you want to marry my wife?
I want to marry at the venue.
That's a very good question. You want to marry me or you want to marry my wallet?
I need both.
That's right. Let me play part 2.
Is it part 2? Damn.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't leave.
At the venue that I picked out. And that's that. Like, there's nothing else really to talk about. You can give me what I want and don't give me nothing at all. You can marry somebody else at a courthouse. I'm not taking that from you. If you want to get married at a courthouse so bad because that's important to you, you can do it with somebody else.
It ain't. It's just why spend all that extra money for the
because
same?
Because that's what I want. That's what I want, and that's what I'm gonna have.
Right, so maybe further on down the line, maybe that could be that could happen.
Do it right the first time, and you don't gotta do it again. Do it right the first time. You don't have to do it again. If you want to get married at a courthouse, go do that with somebody else. Be cheap with somebody else. But if you want to be with me, you already know. I already said my piece. I said my piece. I'm not gonna keep talking about it because it's getting redundant at this time.
Whoa!
I want to marry at the venue that I picked out, and that's that.
Let me play that again. Ooh, there we go.
I mean, she won her wedding.
All right, so we'll go the 2-minute route. Put the timer up here. Tell me what you think about this situation. What do you see for the future if this wedding happens to go through? What do you see for the future of this couple? Do you see it lasting a long time? Do you think this should have been a red flag and maybe it should even move to this point? Preezy, I'll let you go first on this one. This is your video, and you tell me what you think about it. Pop the timer up here, and here we go.
Go!
What happened to Are You Ready?
Oh yeah, a little too fast.
I was used to something, then you change. No, she was very demanding. Like she wanted a relationship. Seemed like she in control. I can understand she wants a nice wedding, and she wants all the shebang bang and everything. But let's be realistic. A lot of these people that be having these big old weddings, they're making it. And right now we are in a financial situation. We are in inflation. I would rather a small wedding, and let's take that money. Let's get some property. Let's invest. Let's rent out. Let's make some money moves so we can build our money, so we can live comfortable. You know, even though we may be both working, Well, not me, I'm retired, but I'm just saying. Let's say we both working. We have extra income coming in too, because a lot of problems in relationships and marriages is sometimes it's finance.
Yeah.
So I think that she was a little rough on him, and I understand she wants the wedding, horse and carriage and all that, but she was so demanding, very assertive. This is what I want, and if you don't like it, then you come on. You don't talk to a person like that you love. I mean, you can. You know what? You fighting over something that's materialistic, and I think that you can have something just as beautiful because that's all materialistic. The vows and me being with you and wanting to be with you for the rest of your life with that Nancy attitude. That's what you should be worried about. So I think they just need to talk a little more about it. She seemed like she had her mind made up, but she was just too, it's my way or no way. And I don't agree into things like that. I never liked that. I don't think that's nice. I don't think people should do that. So he got some problems.
Yeah. All right. LT, I'll let you go next.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Go!
I feel like they probably should have had all these discussions before they truly started discussing marriage, because a discussion about marriage lets you know how far your relationship has the potential to go. If you already disagree with the way you want to pledge your love to each other in front of each other, God, your family members, your friends, if you invite them or such, and the way you want to do it says a lot as well. If she's trying to force him to spend more money than he would like to, he's probably not going to have a good day that day, because he's just going to be thinking about how much money he spent. And if she has to settle for going to the courthouse, and that's not the way that she's always wanted to do it, that's not the way she wants to do it right now, she's not going to be happy she's not going to be happy that day. She's not going to be happy moving forward in the marriage. So again, these are important conversations to have before you seriously think about marrying someone. And you know what? They seem like a couple that's probably been together for years, on again, off again, because just the way that they argue, they seem like they're both set in their ways and trying to get the other to compromise, but it's just not happening. And again, this can be a good thing, because this can let you know if we can work together or if we need to part ways. And yeah, no one thinks about, you want to spend so much money on a damn wedding. What about our honeymoon? Like, you're gonna put me in the hole financially for the day, but you're not thinking about the longevity of the rest of our marriage. And also, before time runs out on me, that's the other most important thing: timing. If he was able to communicate, hey, I do want to marry you the way you want to be married, but I need more time so that I can build the funds, so that I can give you the dream you're looking for. Communicate that, instead of getting her to try to settle for the lesser expense, or the lesser expensive of the two, and probably the less meaningful. And she should respect the fact that he's not in a financial situation to give you the white doves and the horses. And if that's a problem for you, again, you reevaluate your relationship and see if you can move forward.
All right. Good points there.
Are you ready? Go!
I just thought of something when you were talking, LT, when you mentioned honeymoon. Who you think even invented the honeymoon? I don't think the man invented the honeymoon.
Travel agencies.
Ralph Cramden.
All right. But why would they even need to be a honeymoon? Again, what is the wedding about? Nothing about the vow said I had to take you on a honeymoon. But now it's become such a tradition. Now it's expected that you have to go on the honeymoon after the wedding. It's just an added expense, kind of like holidays. All these holidays are used to make someone tell you you love them. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's, Christmas, and stuff like that. It's just an extra expense. And the economy is making so much money off of us just to make us tell them that we love another person. And usually it's for women mostly than anything. Valentine's Day ain't for guys for the most part. And it seems like that for weddings too. Weddings ain't for guys. We would be cool with just you see how funky the ring look for a guy? There ain't no designs or nothing like that. You can just wear a damn rubber band for a guy, and we just be happy with that. That is for the woman too. the dress and all that, the suit, all we got to do is wear a black suit, which is probably reminiscent of going to a funeral. And we'd be just happy with that because it feels like he's probably going to a funeral because his soul was about to die because he knows he had red signs or red flags before he got to this situation that she was going to want certain things done. She's definitely one of those people who's going to want more than the light bill paid for. You know, she's going to want the house and the mortgage. And there's nothing wrong with that if you know that before you get to that point. And you should know what your boundaries are. If you can't afford to keep this type of woman, then you can't really get mad. To me, he knew what he was getting into. And so he's going to have to deal with it or he's going to have to leave. But I would say leave before you get out and signing that business contract, what that is a marriage. I would tell him to leave if he does not want, because it's going to come up again in some form or fashion. This is not going to be the end where she's going to want certain things paid for without, you know, him saying, giving some pushback.
You damn right. And yeah, like to go back to our episode from last week with Tyler Perry telling women they need to settle. You don't want to tell a woman, never tell a woman to settle for her wedding day. That's literally like women look forward to a couple of days in their life. I feel like this is just me speaking from my testicles. They look forward to being asked out for the prom. You know what I'm saying? They look forward to the wedding day and maybe the day their child is born. Like those three are like the top 3 days for a woman ever. Never ask them to settle or compromise on that. So I feel as though, yeah, there should have been more communication. And I mean, obviously, that's always going to be the theme of anything we're talking about when we're talking about relationships, emotions, and people interacting. Communication has to be better. Talk about these things. Like, we don't think it's like, because we just enter relationships as situationships, we're Netflix and chilling, we're just hanging out, we're just kicking it, we're not going steady. We don't think these conversations are important to have. But you can fuck around and be 3, 4, 5 years into an on again, off again relationship. Y'all got babies together. And then when you finally decide to stop playing around, stop going to the club every goddamn weekend, running into each other like y'all didn't know both of y'all was still out here in the streets, and say, well, let's be together. So how you want to do this? You gonna figure out, it's like, damn, so I've been fucking with you for like 3 or 4 years and you don't even have enough money to take care of yourself? No wonder we haven't moved in together yet. I'm very traditional in the sense of I think there should be steps taken before people get married. I do believe in cohabitating with someone before you get engaged. At the very least, as soon as y'all get engaged, you need to start living together. You know what I'm saying? Because that is, to be a fiance is a legal thing. That is recognized. That at least gets you more leadway of access to being a unit, not even just access for you to that other person and that other person to have access to you. That brings y'all closer towards being a unit because you've already made the steps. And I know when things get down to paperwork, we as millennials, we as Gen Xers, we drag our feet on it because that's just the way for the man to have us down and get us in the system and shit. But if we're in America, we're in the system. And to answer your question, the honeymoon, it originates in medieval times. At the time, it was common for newlyweds to drink mead, a fermented beverage, which is just beer, from a moon cycle. It would be 30 days after their wedding. This tradition was believed to bring good luck and fertility to the couple. A little bit later in medieval Britain, it was a way for the newlyweds to travel to family members who had missed the ceremony. So there was no alone time. The modern concept of a honeymoon that we have today is literally from greeting card companies, traveling agencies, and world markets. No, sorry, that's my future wife right there. But yeah, traveling card companies that wanted us to travel to Hawaii, travel to New York, travel to Florida for your honeymoon, travel to Key West. Like, it was literally just the same thing with Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was not something that any ancient civilization or people before us recognized until the 19th century.
So all that was to go visit the families that didn't get to go to the wedding. Now, everyone's trying to be exclusively away from the family for the wedding so they can go deflower the wife. Well,
damn right.
Probably more likely it's not going to happen. Not today's world. She's already deflowered.
Yeah, and in today's time, like the marriage, the relationship, honestly, the fact that you responded to my DM, we consummated after that. So the marriage is, and I feel like that's why the honeymoon has been elevated so much, or I feel like that's why it was elevated in the 19th century, because it was a way for the modern conception of the honeymoon was elevated because that was a way to sell to the newlyweds. Guess what? You ain't got to go hang out with them ugly ass relatives no more. Now you can go fuck. We know you little horny mug, because back then we really believed in abstinence and chastity and waiting until marriage. So the honeymoon was propagated as a way to, hey, go to somewhere nice, scenic, and beautiful and put that thing on her, dog. She's your missus now.
See, well, I'm gonna say the definition is probably a little bit different. With what used to happen back then was the guy would come to the family. He would proposition himself to the father that was in the home. He was supposed to take her off his hand based off, whatever money he had, what kind of land he had, cattle, maybe even dedicate some cattle to him. He said, I will take your daughter off of your hands so she's no longer a burden to you, and she will come with me, and I will give her my riches, and in return, she will give me kids. She will nurture these kids, and she will nurture this home. She'll take care of the home. That's what she's bringing to the table, and I will take care of the work, and I will provide a home. I will provide protection, and she will provide me with a daughter or a son or whatever he may want.
She'll ensure my legacy by giving me fertile soil to
legacy. That's a good way. It's a good way to put it. Legacy. Legacy is the same thing today. It's a little bit different now because modern women are now going to work now. So there's other things they could provide. They can provide their own financial means along with the guys. And that even so makes it even more of a business proposition. When you go and make a business plan, you got to figure out things. Let's just go back to McDonald's. If you were making McDonald's, you got to find out how much money you're going to spend each month or each week, how much money you're going to be bringing in, where the building is going to be. If the rent is going to be too high to be in this building, should you go in a building with lesser rent? Should you go in a building to allow more people in for the business or whatever? How many people are you going to bring in? If you're going to a marriage, you need to know if a house is going to be too much for you. Is the house living outside of your means? Are you going to bring in that much money to get this house? Is someone going to be home taking care of the kids? If they're not, how much money are you going to have to pay for the babysitter? Is the wedding going to take away from the home that we're trying to get? Is the honeymoon going to take away from the home we're trying to get? And if none of these things are important to you, then why get married? It is a business proposition. No way, no how you can look at it is any other way. Yes, you can go in front of God and say you love this person. You can do that without going to the wedding. It's a business proposition. You're bringing in whatever resources you have together to build, as LT said, to build a legacy. If not, just stay shacking up. And everyone's doing it now, basically. Anyway, why even go to the point of even getting married? These are things I think couples got to talk about before they get married. What's important to help us build a legacy? A wedding don't build a legacy. Nothing about a wedding is going to help you build it. Not unless you're a videographer and you're going to put this on your website and show people how great your wedding was, and now people want you to record it for their wedding, whatever. Nothing about a wedding builds legacy. Nothing about a honeymoon builds legacy. So that's what you got to worry about with these type of questions when you're in a relationship, when you're going from relationship shacking up to living together as husband and wife. And when you do a business plan, you also got to think about 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, 30-year plans. How long are you going to work at this place? Are you going to become an executive at this job? Are you going to get a college education to get you enough money to build your own business or so? What's going to be written in the will when one of you passes away? What's going to be given to the kids? All these things have got to be thought of with a business plan in a marriage. You probably don't think about this when you're in a regular relationship, when you just hanging out with each other, going to Dave and Buster's.
That's funny.
It's true. I truly, honestly, and I'm not even saying I fell in that trap too, because I thought, oh, this is something you do when you're just in love, and you go look back through the history. People didn't even go on dates.
Hell the fuck no.
1900s. They just went. They did what is pitch and woo. You ever heard that phrase before?
Pitch and woo. I heard that in life.
Yeah, that's one way you can hear it. You ever heard that phrase before, Preason? Pitch and woo. You ever seen the movie Life?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, they said that in that movie when they were coming in there checking on them, talking. They were in the beds and they were talking some stories about going to the boom boom room or something like that. He said, "You boys better not be in there pitch and woo or something like that." But pitch and woo.
Oh no, it was when Jangling was talking to
Martin. Okay.
Yeah, he was like, "Your hands nice and soft, nice and supple." Like
oh yeah. Okay. You over there pitch and woo to him. You better not be over there pitch and woo over there, jingling. So pitch and woo was like another way of a guy advertising himself to the woman and the father, matriarch or patriarch of the family, to say, "Hey, I'm the best choice for your daughter." And he would pretty much brag, almost like a rapper. He's bragging about what he brings to the table so he can take the daughter out of their family's hand and bring him into his household. It was not dating. So it was not dating per se. Dating, like I say, was a new thing when the Feminist Act kind of started happening, about 70 years ago or so. So you didn't even have to worry about being in love and going on dates and going to Dave and Buster's and playing that game show porn music that we played last week. You didn't have to worry about none of that stuff. Mm-hmm. You just talked to the father. Father said, "I approve of this guy being with my daughter. So I will lend you my hand or my approval to take my daughter. You can marry her based off of the dad's approval." That's also a thing now. We don't have that many dads that can even do that now because fathers ain't in the home like they should be. So that thing is gone. But it was all a business transaction back then. It's become more so about the Disney princess disease where people think a prince is going to come and save them, sweep them off their feet, and make them live happily ever after. They don't talk about the business side of marriage in Disney, and nor should they, because it's about kids.
Where some real ancient shit is that kids used to be bargaining chips back in ancient times, especially biblical times. If you had there were a few things a person could have that were of value: land, animals, children. If you had a debt, you could literally sell your children into slavery, sometimes just as an indentured servant. They could go for a few years to serve be a handmaiden for the princess or whatever the fuck. In more nefarious ways, like in the Epic of Gilgamesh, someone could literally come and, "Hey, I see that you produce beautiful daughters. I'll give you 3 cows for your daughter." And that's kind of dating. Yes, you're 100% correct. Dating in our modern sense literally only came about because of the industrial era, when we were building more things for convenience and leisure, like places to actually go out on a date, like restaurants as we know them commonly today didn't exist. Well, they probably existed maybe 100 years ago, but 200 years ago? No. 300 years ago? No. Movie theaters? The fuck? No one had even those moving pictures. That's for the wealthy elite. We're communists. Like back in the day, there was such a wide gap between the wealthy elite and the commoners. Yeah. There was a lot more commoners than there were wealthy elite. So dating was something. The courting process is something that royalty went through, whereas we, the common folk, pretty much just we kind of remember in Holes when where old boy had to breed a really good pig to promise to this young woman's father, because if I want any access to this young woman, I had to go through who is still in control of this young woman. And back in those times, it was still her father. Because again, like you said earlier, like women have a lot more agency in our era than they ever had, ever in life, ever.
Yes. And you know what that's called? Inflation. Inflation. When things have gone up past the cost of what it used to be in the yesteryears. So instead of just giving you a cow or a pig or livestock, which was probably like a Cadillac back then. Now we have to take you on dates. Or now we have to take you on a certain amount of dates. Maybe we have to wait 90 days before we do anything with you. So that's the price to pay now to be with. And like I said, y'all set the standard. Like I always say, women set the standard for what kind of guy they can get or what kind of guy they want. You know, they advertise what kind of guy they want, what kind of guy they're going to get. And the guy has to make a decision if that's the person he wants to marry. During the dating phase, it's the woman's decision. During the marriage phase or the proposal, it's up to the guy to propose. So that's his decision. But a woman can put amenities, she can put rules on like, hey, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to get. If you don't want that, then you don't have to date me. I'll move on to the next person. And the guy, he should see the signs if this is what he's willing to deal with. This is why I don't really fault the woman in this video to a degree. I don't, she can have, whatever restrictions she want on it, but he should know if he can't handle it, just like we were talking last week, if you can't pay the light bill, then you shouldn't be with this type of person. If she wants just the light bill paid or she wants the light bill and the mortgage paid and you can't do it, then y'all don't belong together. Go with somebody that wants less. So women can have
or be by yourself until you're in a
relationship. What's that, LT?
I was saying, or it's like, because we'll be together when we don't have it. Like this guy obviously was not in the financial situation to do this type of wedding. Obviously, if and a woman is not expected to throw her own fucking wedding, but we really need to learn how to exercise solitude and actually being away from people when we're trying to build ourselves up. If you don't have the ability to take care of yourself by yourself, if you're literally just struggling on your own, marriage, only commonly have we been doing that for love, for emotional reasons. Because as a man, when you choose to marry a woman, you are choosing to take on her assets and her debts. You're choosing to give her your name. So whatever she does, it is attached to you.
That is true.
Like you were in such a position. Go ahead.
I was about to say I'm sorry. That's what coming together as one is supposed to be. You take on all the faults and all the good traits too. You don't take on just everything that's good. Same thing with her. If she can't walk and she needs to be cared, she needs to be taken care of in that manner. If you know that before the wedding, you're supposed to accept all that. That's what it means to come as one. Her faults is now your faults. If you can't handle it, I would say don't move forward. These are things that got to be talked about before, though, not during.
These are things that we categorize as too serious to talk about before we even know what we never know what we doing with people. I hear so many people say it's like, I don't even know what we doing. I don't even know what we doing. But y'all still giving each other
right.
You're still giving each other your time. You're still giving each other your energy. You're still allowing each other into your personal space, and y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all doing. So you're just wasting time. You're wasting space. You're wasting energy.
Yeah. But so many people are afraid to have that conversation, I think, because they're afraid of rejection. So they just kind of go along with it. And he was probably afraid of the same thing till he finally had to have the conversation. And now, whoa.
Like not even, or like the rejection part out of it, but the fear of having to do this struggle shit alone. Like, why do you want more? Can't you just be happy with the less that we have? Why don't you want more? Can't you do more than you're currently doing to give me more so that I don't have to do more so that I can currently be happy right now? Like they both seem like very depressed people. They were looking for something to make their relationship more exciting, more legitimate, more official. But there's nothing more official than getting yourself together. And if you're going to be together while you're doing that, then y'all have to have serious discussions and realistic discussions. Hey, I know we want to do this, but let's map out a time. Let's actually write some shit down. Let's actually sit down, outline, and plan out our lives together instead of just saying, well, I want this. That's how kids communicate with each other.
Yeah. Well, I'm I'm gonna make a quick point of why I say again why this is a business transaction. Preezy, I think you mentioned this last week. What was one of the number one reasons why people get a divorce? I think you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Finances.
Finances. Now, in one of the wedding vows, what does it say? I will take you through good health and bad, through richer and for poor. Nobody.
I thought it was no romance, kiss the finance.
There you go. Well, there you go. There you go. And then
I'm playing.
If it's outside your means, then hey, y'all don't belong together.
Nah, you really need to. It's important. I don't care what nobody say. Today's world, maybe
today's world,
it didn't matter, but today, finances are very, very important. It's not for materialistic things though. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as far as taking care of the home and their kids and us and the house and other things that we might want to do down the line. So finances is important. Nobody wants to marry somebody that's in debt.
Right.
I'd marry you to get you out of debt. You got a lot of people out here like that. They know you got money, and as soon as you get with them, now their debt is your debt. That's not what. No, I'm not doing that. No. I need to see some credit scores, and I need the Social Security number. I need to run a check because I don't want to get involved with somebody who's going to mess me up. No, finances are important. It's all well and fine. Yeah, I can love you, but, I say our love is good, but if we struggling, then what do you think that's when the arguments are going to start and all of this. So, it's important. That's what I'm saying. If the guy is telling her he can't afford the wedding, you basing a wedding on your relationship? Like, I don't know. People it's just terrible today how their relationships are, what their relationships are based on. I don't know. It's crazy. So many more important things, but maybe she never really had anything and this is her day. Like she wants to feel like, hey, I don't know. Everybody has them.
A lot of them ancient weddings, a lot of the family members and friends would bring stuff to the wedding. It won't all incumbent on the husband and wife or the parents.
Right. Oh, yeah, a Jewish wedding? Oh, a Jewish wedding, they just...
You froze up right quick, LT.
They made him stop.
He said Jewish, so that's where he messed up.
Got the zap.
He froze up right there.
You're done talking. They zapped him.
Yeah.
What you say? Even Italian weddings, they pay for you, but them envelopes. But they have to talk. A relationship is not a relationship unless you have communication. I don't care how much money there is. If there's no communication, you have nothing. So this is something that they really have to talk about. She needs to listen to his points. He needs to listen to hers. And they need to get an understanding. Because they could have a beautiful wedding, but affordable.
Yeah.
I mean, I can shop at the dollar store with items from and put it in my house, and you would have thought that I went to some old rich store or some expensive store. Meanwhile, it's how you put things together. So it's a possibility they can have a beautiful wedding, but something that they're able to afford and something that's not going to put them in debt when it's all over. $20, $30, $40, $50,000 bill now for love.
But yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I'm finished. I was just saying.
Before they try to assassinate my waves
council,
the Jewish community, the Hebrews, at their weddings, there is no gift. They literally just put money in an envelope and mazel tov. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. So to that point, usually it is that's what people and even it's weddings have become such a consumer industry. That's why you have a wedding registry. of where you register here to buy gifts through this specific vendor. For what the fuck? Can I just make you something? Can I just do what the Jewish people do and give you money? But because everyone wants in on this wedding, even churches get on this shit. Like the fact that, like what we were saying earlier about if you're an atheist, atheists still get married. Of course, they don't do it in a church, but some of them might. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick a venue unless you just go down to the courthouse where, and I get it, if you want it to be the most, like you're going to have to take a trip to the courthouse anyway, right? I don't know. I've never been married before.
Eventually, you got to eventually make a trip down there, but people get married in their backyards. I've been, plenty of family members that got married right in their backyard.
You got a nice backyard, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I know family members got married during COVID right in their backyard, had a reception in their backyard. I wouldn't say it was the best in the world, but they had a few sprouts of grass in the back, and they had like one of them things you park your car in outside, to protect your car from the rain. That's where they walked during that. Walked to the preacher when they walked down the aisle. It was like a dirt path they walked down. But, I mean, it was nice because no one could go to a church at that time because of COVID. They could have as many people they want, and they just had restrictions. I mean, people were sick. They had to test people to see if their temperature was too high, but it was nice. It was nice.
If you're a religious person and you don't get married in front of in a church, did God attend your wedding? Because I'm imagining that's still in the vow somewhere. And so it's like, what makes it more official? Getting married before the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with and whatever you so believe in, or that piece of paper, that motherfucking that you both of your names on that dotted line.
You should be able to do that, but we know that's for tax purposes. Why they have to go and get that registered and stuff like that, because they used to didn't have to do that either. That was one way they did. I don't know, it was a early time to see if you were dating interracially. They could see what race you were dating, if you were legally married to a white woman or not. They can keep up with those records. That's one way why they put some of those court records.
You see how it always goes back to the fear of the big black penis.
Perhaps so.
We got to make sure that these N words aren't fucking our white girls. Okay, he's Pacific Islander. He's good.
All the Pacific Islanders can get away with it. They got to pass.
I keep forgetting to send that video in. Some people from different continents, some foreigners, they are told to identify and classify themselves as white when they fill out paperwork when they enter this country. Arabs are told to classify themselves as white.
Yeah, you're right. And they ain't nowhere near close to it.
Or if they respect the sovereignty of your nation or your ethnicity, that's when you actually get a category of your own. Like, are you Hispanic or of any type of Latin descent? Are you Oriental or Asian? Like they recognize certain nations that have been able to, certain groups of nations that have been able to come together under one ethnic banner. And that's why when you look at ours, it's just black or African American.
Interracial relationship used to be like weed. Weed was, well, in some states it's still legal, but until they could make money off of it, then they start making it legal. Then they found like, shoot, we losing money. We actually could get more money provided to the government or whatever like that. We actually let interracial relationships happen, marriages happen. So go ahead and let them people get married. We'll just find other ways to make them feel sorry that they ever got with a white woman or vice versa.
Yeah, they started white women are poison to begin with.
If the government gonna make money, then you might as well go ahead and make money too and get married. We'll talk about it first, of course. Like everything else, the business plan, they make plans for people going to school. What school you going to? What curriculum you gonna take?
Yeah, it's literally like they plan out what you're going to learn for at least 12 years of your life.
Yeah, and then you supposed to be married for what? Life? You don't think you should talk about that before you get married? You should probably sit down and maybe quiz each other. Maybe do a book report on your partner to make, do extensive research together on each other
open yourselves up to research.
Background check.
You know what I'm saying? Like allow these things to happen so that you don't financially, and so you don't mentally, physically, spiritually, and contractually pair with someone that you have no compatibility with, or that's not going to that's not going to benefit you in the long run. You're just going to end up separating. And guess what? On divorce, it's not cheap either, my boy. So you better make sure you're picking the right one when you pick the one.
Yeah. Neither is if you sever yourself from a business plan. If you get out of a business, let's say a Five Guys or whatever, you're going to have to split your assets, or depending on how much the person owns, could be 70, 30%, could be 60, 40%. You're going to have to split some money down.
All that's left of it. I don't know if you can help me.
Okay. There's somebody else. All right. Preezy, what did you want to add anything to the subject matter? Oh, you're on mute.
What is that?
Like Lord Trump said, you definitely have to have a conversation.
When do you think you should have that conversation? Do you think you should have that very early on in a relationship, or do you a couple of years?
Yeah, when you realizing that this is the,
way before a couple of years.
I think let's I think
because how long does it? I'm sorry to cut you off, Preezy. How long does it take you to love you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When you get engaged, the moment you get engaged, it should be discussed. Or it could be a general conversation. It could be a general conversation. Hey, you start talking about different things in life. Well, how do you feel about marriage? It could be a general conversation. You don't even have to be engaged.
Yeah.
You could just be at dinner on a dinner somewhere, and that could come up. Because shouldn't those conversations come up? Do you want any kids? Do you like kids? These things need to come up to see if you want to go further with this person. So no, you're right, Big Ray. It should be something right in the beginning.
Yes. Do you have PTSD? Can that be passed on to my kids? Do you think we should be conjugate together? Because you might, make my son just.
But people could change their mind. As time later on in life, you can tell me one thing, and then, I remember that answer about 2 years ago, and now it's something totally different. So people change. People change through the years. And they can tell you this, I want this, blah, blah, blah. And later on, it's something totally different. So you really don't know. Mm-hmm. You just don't. You don't know. Nobody is. They're not.
I don't think anyone is
people change through the years. That's how I feel.
I don't think anyone is taking serious consideration into their actual futures because it doesn't even have to be a personal. Hey, do you see, like on the first couple of dates, first weeks or months or whatever, it doesn't even have to be a personal, hey, do you see yourself marrying me? But a very general question that you could ask when you're getting to know someone is, what are your thoughts on marriage? What are your thoughts on kids? What are your thoughts on, because again, if a person has kids, they're going to have that conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a reality that they live in. I'm a single mother. I am a single father. So how do you feel about kids? I need to know that before I move forward with you because I have kids. Now, you can apply that same principle and logic to marriage. But it doesn't happen a lot because we're in a society, we're just in a wave right now where we're not thinking about marriage. We don't see the importance. Men don't see the importance in it. Women are finally getting themselves out of it and wanting their own independence from it. So we don't talk about those things when we're first meeting each other. And it really doesn't have to be a long, personal, in-depth analysis of if we're getting married tomorrow. The general thought of how you feel about marriage is something that I feel as though it's at an age that you really start talking about it. Like whenever you feel as though, I'm 20, insert whatever number here. I'm 30, insert whatever number here, or I'm 40, insert whatever number here. And I'm kind of done just serial dating. I'm kind of done just casually dating. Am I ready to commit myself to one person? It's within, like, you're asking yourself, am I ready to commit myself to one person? And that'll be the way that you start to date. You'll scroll past the girls that look like they're just down for a good time. You'll scroll past the guys that look like they're just there to waste your time. You'll start really reading and looking, again, research and analysis. You'll start really wanting to know, okay, what are your thoughts and opinions? Where do you have a 3-year plan? 3-year plan? Do you have a 5-year plan? What do you currently do? Hey, how was your childhood? How's your relationship with your parents? These things become important to you over when, like, these things become important to you in a partner when they become important to you in yourself.
Yeah, and that's the answer to, there's, let's say, IG models out here that say they get a lot of attention from guys, but none of them are getting married because guys are not seeing a long-term commitment to how their brand or their brand as a couple is going to grow. All they
Everybody
see
can see
is,
what is supposed to be mine. Like, I hate to put possession on a woman, but when you get married, they call you man and one, like that. You belong to each
nothing
other.
wrong with
You
that,
know
though.
what I'm saying? Like, you are one. You are a unit. You belong
There
to
is there is nothing wrong with that, though. I hate that when people say, "Oh, I am not a possession." You're both a possession. You possess each other. That's what the whole thing is coming as one is. This is my
no.
body, and it's your body as well. This is what the unison is. There's nothing wrong with you possessing your husband and him possessing you. I don't
Mind,
think
body,
there's
and
nothing wrong
soul.
with that. But if you're gonna possess each other, you got to move past that relationship part. But again, as I've always said, the relationship is nothing but example of what the marriage is going to be. Whatever happens during the relationship is going to give you a bird's eye view of what's going to happen during the marriage. That is what that is. That is the pageantry of a relationship is to see how well she or he will perform in certain situations, except for the living together part. But some people do that too. But how well they will perform in certain situations that would lead them to staying together for life. Same thing with a business partner. If you see your business partner is frivolous with money, then he's not going to be good for the business because the business is going to going downhill. Because you got to have somebody that's good with money. If he's good with mathematics and he can add up discounts and add up revenue and not get the business in the red, then he's good for the business. If he's good for advertising, he's good for the business. If he steals money from you, then that's an example of like, well, I don't think he's going to be a good future partner. I need to probably move on to someone who's probably better in
Or
those.
if they're lazy, or if they make bad investments,
Yeah.
or if they're just a bad part, like they're not, or not even a bad partner. They're not a compatible partner for you. Y'all have, like, you can be in a situation where y'all have good days, but you're on different wavelengths. Like, we have to get more comfortable communicating, because what I saw from this couple, they're arguing about money. That's like they usually, or what's the old saying of the whatever argument you have in your relation, that's the argument you're going to have for the rest of your life. And it seems like their argument is always going to be about her wanting him to spend more and him not wanting to spend more. Getting married is not going to solve that. The same way a whole generation of kids thought just having kids together was going to solve their relationship issues. It's not. You're really trying to bypass. You're trying to do something for show. That's what a marriage is. That's what a baby is. You're trying to do something together to show the world instead of yourselves and each other that you're committed to each other. But you truly haven't committed to anything other than vanity, to be honest.
That's what the wedding is. The wedding is a pageant. A pageant, a wedding is a pageant versus other weddings that other people have gone to. Who has the best wedding? Who will win? Who will win the best wedding pageant in the next 20 years when we talk about what happened? Who had the best cake, who had the best dress?
I'm sorry. Like, I'll never wear this tuxedo again. Like, I'm never gonna walk into my closet and be like, "Ooh, where my wedding tux at?"
More than likely, 20 years from now, you're not gonna be able to fit it.
Nah, hell, fuck
If
that.
you can afford a big wedding, then go for it. I mean, if you got the money,
you
can afford it, and it's not gonna, mess you both up financially. Go for it. I think that's a beautiful thing. And it all depends on the two people and the two individuals. But if it's gonna put you in a financial, that one day, You know, and if you don't mind paying that bill, I mean, if you guys are working, that's why I say communication is the key. If you don't mind working that bill out together, and it's not gonna mess you too up later down on line, like you split it.
And it really does come from
I
a
mean, that's what
medieval
I'm saying.
framework.
They have to talk. They really have to talk about.
Happy one day, argue for the rest of your life.
Back in the kingdom, the most lit day for all of the commoners was the wedding day of the king. Like when the king chose a queen or the prince was about to choose a princess and get married, that's when peasants was allowed into the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? That's when peasants was allowed into the castle. It's like, oh shit, the castle, nice. I love the way the prince did. Like that was really a turn up time for a medieval village. So in the modern century, when we started working, we started making more money, we finally got to get that ourselves. We finally got to, make our wedding days a spectacle and a modern, a marvel, the envy of everyone else in the village.
That's a great connection because what does everybody want to be called in a relationship? They want to be called king and queen. And they want to live their life as a king and queen when they got peasant money.
And the king and queen didn't get married in private. They made sure, hey, hear ye, all you peasant motherfuckers. There's going to be a wedding at the castle, and all you broke sons of bitches are invited.
If it's affordable, why not? It's a special day.
It's free.
I love each other. Go for it.
They don't love each other. We're just merging two kingdoms. We were going to go to war, but this marriage was arranged because we're not married for love. It's ordained.
Love is love.
The king is marrying the duchess so that he can also backstab the other kingdom and take them over. This is Game of Thrones. It was really. I'm only marrying your daughter so that one day when she's
Game of Thrones,
I'll have your kingdom.
House of Dragons. Did it ever come back?
I don't know. I didn't watch that one.
I didn't watch it ever. I just watched that South Park saga on it, and I know everything.
Yeah, I don't like prequels too much.
Oh, I played the game. They got a Telltale game. It's like interactive story. The Game of Thrones Telltale shit. This shit is hard. Was
it a trivia game?
No, it's like like you get to pick options. You know what I'm saying? Like the what were the books where you got to choose your own adventure books?
Yeah,
it's a video game like that.
Not to choose your own adventure books.
It's multiple choice, and the story adapts to the choices that you make. So he's like, "Oh shit, I should have killed that guy. Oh shit, I'm glad I saved that guy. Oh shit, that guy that I saved killed me." It's a twist and turn.
All right, we're gonna move on from that one. Preezy. She's like, You want to do a therapy game?
Therapy game?
Yeah, I don't think I've done it with you yet.
Okay, I'm ready.
You want to? Okay, all right. Let me set it up right quick. We're gonna do some therapy right quick. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna show you some pictures or a phrase, or it may be one word. You tell me how that word or picture makes you feel. You'll have like 30 seconds. Whatever comes to your mind. Don't matter what it is. There's no wrong answer. It's your interpretation of what it is.
Okay.
There'll be a clock on the screen. But first, I'm going to show you the picture. It's going to show a phrase or a picture of something. Don't know what it is, but you just tell me how it makes you feel or what it makes you think about. It could be a frog, and you tell me what a frog. Maybe a frog brings fear, or maybe a frog brought back a childhood memory or something, or fear or PTSD.
You gonna play that chicka point point behind it?
Nah, I ain't got the.
Oh man, you ain't got the chicka point point.
Nah, this one's got.
I need Sparky T with me anyway, but you playing the chicka point point.
All right, let me see. I'm gonna pop the first one up here. Let me find.
I can't do the music. I can do porn ad libs.
All right, let's see. All right, here is your first word, and you tell, I gave it away. Here's your first word, and you just tell me how this makes you feel. Then I'm gonna pop a 30-second timer. You'll see it on the screen. So here we go. First thing. First word is marriage, and you tell us how that word makes you feel.
Oh, it's a countdown.
Mhm.
Marriage to me is two people who love each other, who decide to be with each other to death do each other apart. And it should be about respect, honesty, loyalty, and happiness. I think marriage is beautiful if you put your 100% to it.
All right.
The end.
All right. That's how that makes her feel.
Yes,
right.
marriage is beautiful.
You're going to have 4 more now from here. Here is your next one. Who knows what it's going to be? Let's see what this is.
And where he at?
You tell us how this makes you feel.
Well, I ain't next to him, so I don't like it. I think it's silly to post that. I think he's setting himself up. If you got it, you don't have to brag about it. You don't have to show it. He needs to be invested in stocks, Amazon, and stop flashing money like that and put it to good use. So that picture's whack.
Wow. She said it's whack. All right.
Yeah. If you got it, you ain't gotta flaunt it.
You on the gram holding money to your ear. There's a disconnect. We don't call that money over here.
You setting yourself up.
Bars.
All right. Here's your next one. What we got?
It ain't
that serious. How does that?
I don't like that phrase too much, especially when it comes to relationships or you trying to express yourself. When you're expressing yourself to your partner, it is serious, no matter what it is. So, it all depends, that phrase. Some things that could be overly exaggerated, it's not that serious, But when it comes to important things, I don't like that phrase. I never did. Because that means you don't care. So that's how I feel.
All right. It ain't that serious, Crazy. Damn. It was only 2 girls. It ain't that serious.
What?
Damn.
How was I supposed to know that was your sister?
Do your thing.
All right. Got 2 more. Let's see what do we got next. Tell us how this one makes you feel.
Oh, she's dying. Nah, what she doing is, I like that. You know why? Because she getting ready to go somewhere, or she probably is somewhere, and she smell herself like, ooh, is that me? And hopefully she's near some deodorant spray like Dove, and she's able to spray herself. Now, I like that because she's checking herself like, wait a minute, let me make sure I smell good before he come over, or before I go out around people. So I like that. She checking herself, and more people should. Oh, stick mud butts out there.
Jeez. Wow.
I like that.
For real. I like that. She's checking herself.
Hopefully she hasn't checked herself before she left the house.
Let me make sure I'm good.
Hey.
Real shit. My puberty was bad, BO. That's how I had super sweat glands.
Oh.
And I had gym like second period.
Damn, your whole day, boo.
Oh yeah, that's where you gotta go to the bathroom and get that cheap school soap.
Yeah, you
gotta put it on the brown paper from out of the little dispenser. Yep. You gotta run it under some warm water, and then you gotta try it.
Yeah. The warmth makes it spread around and makes it proliferate in the armpits.
It's like a rag, and then I would just hold it there in my armpit and go back into class. What's up, y'all? What's up? Right now. No.
Yeah, but don't have a white shirt or a light shirt because they're gonna see all the wetness there. I'm like, dang, he's sweating hard.
Mm-hmm. Yellow stain.
I was like 12 because the armpits was always yellow.
You smell like bathroom soap. All right, last one for you, Preezy.
I'm ready.
This is interesting. I want to see what this makes you feel like or what this makes you think about.
Let me see.
Oh,
Nights like this. A crackhead. A singing crackhead.
All right.
Who still doesn't realize that he's a crackhead. He thinks he's a functional crackhead. He think he can still sing, but he needs to get help. And we got to pray for him. We got to pray for people that look like that. Dang! Nights like this. Yeah, you need help.
They have my spot.
You need some therapy.
Yeah. That's Uncle Earl at the barbecue.
Y'all still gonna let me? Y'all still want Eddie King to sing like he won't used to?
Hey, look, I'll die on this hill. The Temptations will wax the fuck out of the 5 Heartbeats. I don't give a fuck.
That's only because Duck and Choir Boy couldn't dance.
That's only because the Temptations are a real fucking group. Sorry, had to hit below the belt like that. Sorry.
But can the Temptation exist because Leon was part of the 5 Heartbeats and also part of the 5 Heartbeats?
The 5 Heartbeats
are going to have to go away.
Groups like the Temptations. Literally, Eddie Kane. Matter of fact, David Ruffin walked, or David Ruffin snorted so that Eddie Kane can shoot up some heroin.
Mm-hmm.
I put David Ruffin up against any goddamn body. Don't nobody do cocaine. Don't nobody do drugs bigger than R.I.P. David Ruffin.
Yeah, but Eddie Kane won in the end because he survived and lived.
But does he have a My Girl?
Nights like this?
Put anything up against My Girl, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, and nights like this, you wish the raindrops would fall. How about I just wish it would rain?
2 wrongs don't make a right.
But goddamn it, I know you want this with you right now.
Yes, sir. It's all I can do.
Oh yeah, that boy David.
Preezy got carpal tunnel in her head right now. Listen to her sing.
Couldn't nobody fuck with the Temptations. Smokey Robinson couldn't fuck with the Temptations. The Miracles couldn't fuck with.
Did y'all ever see the play?
The Parade?
The play.
The play?
Awesome.
5 Heartbeats or Temptation?
Temptation.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
I ain't seen that. Mm-hmm. They had my boy Blue in it still.
Oh, I don't know, but it was a great show.
Didn't you go see the New Jack City one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was great. That was
New Jack City on stage.
That was
good.
That's the most New York thing I've ever heard in my life.
That was awesome.
Yeah, just Tretch was
that's also Tretch is from New Jersey.
And I saw the one what was Queen Latifah was in? The 4 girls.
Queen Latifah.
Set It Off.
Set It Off. Oh, they had a play for that.
They had a set it off.
Awesome. That was awesome.
Also the most New York thing ever, even though she's from New Jersey.
Wow. Who played Cleo?
What's her name? The Brat.
Oh shit! That's great casting.
It was awesome.
That's fucking Andrea Romero casting. Oh man, that's great casting.
You guys don't go to plays? Y'all don't have plays out there in North Carolina?
I was gonna go to the Matilda.
Y'all gotta come to New York. You gotta come to the Broadway, New York City.
Y'all get all of them. Y'all just Broadway.
No, I'm waiting to go see. I'm waiting to go see Cats. That's what I need to go see. Cats.
I've seen Cats.
Cats. That ain't out no more.
Yeah, I know. I heard y'all ended it a couple years ago.
They got. What's the guy? Oh man, my mind is.
Jason Derulo.
What's the guy that he went back in time? He was with the professor, and he went back in time. Yeah, what was that? What was that movie called?
Back to the Future.
Yes, that's out now and on Broadway.
It's a play.
Yes, and I know it's going to be awesome because the stage settings are awesome. So I can't even imagine when they have that car and it's going to really look like it took off and everything. I saw the coming attractions, so I'm going to go see that.
I'm pretty sure. Damn, I'm pretty sure.
I see a lot of plays. You got to come to New York City. That's the only way you want Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
I went to the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum and shit. I gave a life size Incredible Hulk the middle finger.
You want to laugh?
I made him angry and he didn't do shit about it. Fuck you, Bruce.
Strong word.
Plays are awesome. They're excellent.
King Cat.
All right. Let's go. We're gonna go to the next one. LT, this is one you posted in the group. Cartoon of Black History. It's about how Black history is being taught in the schools. Or not being taught in the schools in this.
The lack thereof.
Yeah, let's take a look at it right quick.
Children, our founding fathers knew that slavery was evil and wrong, and they knew that it would do terrible harm to the nation. They wanted it to end, but their first priority was getting all 13 colonies to unite as one country. The southern colonies were dependent on slave labor, and they wouldn't have joined a union that had banned it.
Are you okay with that?
I'm certainly not okay with slavery, but the founding fathers made a compromise to achieve something great, the making of the United States. It was America that began the conversation to end it. But Leo is correct that big problems need to be approached very carefully. Have you kids heard of William Lloyd Garrison?
No. Nope.
He's an abolitionist like me, and he and I used to be friends, but we aren't any longer. We don't agree how to solve problems. William refuses all compromises, demands immediate change, and if he doesn't get what he wants, he likes to set things on fire.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds like you know the type.
Yeah, we've got that type in our time.
So, you're trying to work for change inside of the American system.
Precisely, Layla. Our system is wonderful, and the Constitution is a glorious liberty document. We just need to convince enough Americans to be true to it.
Alright, they actually going there?
These funky ass Caucasian Yakubian devils. Yeah, I had to go to my native tongue. Yakubian.
Yeah, I was gonna mute there. Yeah, I wasn't gonna play the rest of his copyright. I didn't want to hear his rap again, but we got the gist of the video.
He honestly made it look worse with the rap. I'm gonna be honest.
Let's see, I'm not alone on that. See? All right, so LT, you sound like you feel pretty strongly about this. So yeah, what do you think about? Well, I'm gonna put the clock up here, but what do you think about giving free agency and how Black history is taught in schools? What should be done to make sure not just Black people, everybody get the right story, everybody get the truth, put it that way. What should be done? And I'll give you 2 minutes to have your initial thoughts.
Ready, go!
Black people have to take their children out of white schools. Black history, before we were calling it Black history, before we were calling ourselves Black, we were just people. We are the original people. So our history is the history of the world. And yet, I'll only speak for me right now. When I go back to my first day in 9th grade world history, we didn't start in Africa. We started in not even Mesopotamia, not even Indo-Europe. We started all the way in Southern Europe, Greece, Italy, the common culprits, the common suspects. Now, of course, we would travel to other places, but I say all this to say Malcolm X had a great quote of, those who let the oppressor teach their children are truly doomed. And that's what we're facing. They're literally using the face, the iconography of abolitionist, Black man, former slave, to propagate, using his face as propaganda for the American Constitution and backing the slave-owning founding fathers. And this is not something that is new. They do this every year with Martin Luther King. Anytime that, those people who don't get their way decide to riot about something, they always love appropriating, well, Martin Luther King said, don't be violent. How long do you want people to not be violent when we are killed in the streets? Another Black man was murdered by police officers. He was like 60 something. I don't know his name. I'll have to look more into that. I'll give that to you later. But to use one of our to use one of our leaders, to use one of our great thought thinkers to manipulate the thought of our future is what is truly damning us. Dr. Umar said we need not only economic and financial help, we need access to education, and we cannot get that in a institution that is literally bent on protecting their place in history while ignoring ours, because that would mean that you would have to you would honestly have to reveal to a people that you've made feel as though that they are inferiors, that not only are you not inferior, you are superior, and everything comes from you because you are the beginning of the world, and world history should start with you. And they're just not going to do that, and we have to stop waiting for them to do that. We need our own education system. Went a little over there, my bad.
Sorry about that. I was muted. All right. Preezy, what do you think about that video? And what do you think should be done going forward with teaching Black history the right way? Give us your thoughts.
Are you ready? Go!
They teach Black history in school? They don't teach no Black history in school. Not that I know of. I was never taught Black history in school. That was something that I had to learn on my own. Only person we knew about was Harriet Tubman. That was it. I don't know them talking about anybody else, or maybe possibly Shirley Chisholm might have came up. But they're not talking about all the other people that were in Black history, like the person who made the light or the straightening comb. Or other things, peanut butter. I had to read that stuff on my own. So they need to educate children. I don't care what color you are. Black history should be taught. I think I did on season 1. I have an episode where I do Black history. And I talk about different things and different things that happened during slavery and stuff like that. That should be taught. If they're teaching the Holocaust, then they should be teaching Black history. If they're teaching about the Indians, and then Black history should be taught, because it's something that everybody should know about. Everybody should know about Black history, slavery, the inventors. There's a lot of these kids don't know half. They think, white people created all these different things. No, it's not true. It's not true. Slaves built the White House. I bet your kids don't even know that. So my thing is, don't wait on a school to teach your children. You should be at home teaching your kids about Black history. Don't wait on them, because they're going to go around things. They're not, to make things short. They're going to take shortcuts. No. Start from the beginning of time. Start from them slave ships, when them slaves was on them ships for 9 months. And the alligators and sharks were following the ships. So you need to teach your kids at home. Don't wait on the system to teach your kids, because they're not going to teach them everything. We need to learn everything about our Black history and our fathers and our forefounders. Everybody. Well, that's it. Because I'll keep going on and on about Black history.
Sure.
All right.
Are you ready? Go!
I think we might talk briefly about this, LT, in the chat. What I would think should be done is there should be a panel. If our people, Black people, that approve of what's taught in these schools. I don't necessarily believe it. We should take all Black kids out of the school system where white kids are. I can understand your point on why that would be a better thing, but that doesn't teach the white kids the Black history. Because I think, and I don't even like that word, because I don't have a lot of fans on this when I say this. I really don't even like Black History Month, because the word Black history makes it you think that it's not even part of American history. It is American history, because there is no White History Month. It's called American history when we talk about that. I know Indians I think they have their own day now, whatever, and other, in Chinese might have a Chinese American Day or whatever like that. But it's American history. When you call it Black History Month, it's almost like it takes responsibility away from what America did to Black people. And so I would rather not even be a month. I just rather it be implemented throughout the year, because we have so much history to be talked about that you can't even fit it in 1 month. It's almost like going to get a prostate exam. I feel like for some people, it's like, oh, here comes the date. Here comes February. We got to go get our prostate exam. Hope we can get through it. I'll bear through it, and then we can deal with the rest of the year. That's what I hate, but it's just that one time of year. And the other thing I hate, and Preezy, you kind of mentioned it too, it's only the bad stuff for the most part. I'm probably going to have to extend this off the clock, and I'm going to tell you why I think this is a bad thing. I'll let the time go off. Okay. Okay. So we all know the famous singer Tina Turner, correct?
R.I.P. to the goddess.
Okay. We know people that have been in domestic issues, that broke away from their husband, that used to beat them daily, right? And when they finally got away, they celebrated, I'm sure. Some of them celebrate. Some of them go to their friends like, hey, I'm so glad you got out of that relationship because it was bad for you. You were crying. Your kids had to see you in pain all the time, and they got away from it. They celebrate like, cheers. I'm glad you can move on with your life. You can live your life with your kids and maybe go find another good man. And they just talk about it, and they're elated. What would happen if next year on that date, let's just say August 14th, they bring it back up again and like, hey, we're so glad that you got away from that guy that used to abuse you. And then they have footage and they show you getting beaten. And then at the end of the footage, you're like, hey, we're glad you got away. And then the next year they do the same thing. They show you getting beaten, bloodied to a pulp. But at the end they say, hey, you got away. Hold on, let me finish. You got away. You're good. They do this every year. Do you think the woman that was domestically abused, does that help her get over it? Or does that make her more bitter and angry? I'm going to say it makes her more angry, and it doesn't help her move on from what she used to experience. I think Black history is the way it's presented is the same thing. We see what they thought we were, how we were treated. We're bombarded with it every year, and we hold on to that every year, and we're never truly able to move forward and move past that because we're reminded of it every year. They don't talk about mainly the positive stuff in Black history. They mainly go, as Preezy said, with Rosa Parks, whatever, so Kuta Kinte with Roots. We got to see that every year, us getting beaten. We got to get angry about it every year. We can't move on from it. The same way someone who gets domestically abused every year, they don't want to. Even Tina Turner said she didn't want to think about the bad times with Ike. She didn't even want to watch the movie because there's nothing but reminder of what used to happen back then. She wanted to move forward. She wanted to talk about the positive things in her lives and how she persevered. It's the same thing with Black history. We don't get a time really to even heal from it because people keep digging in a festering wound and keep reminding us what happened. That is what I hate about. And then we got Juneteenth. Juneteenth to me is the same thing. It's like, all it does is remind us, oh, you used to be a slave. We freed y'all. I don't even feel like that's even a Black holiday. I feel like that's a holiday patting white people on the back because they passed the law. Biden passed the law to make that a federal holiday. I don't feel like that's our holiday. Maybe Martin Luther King Day. I can maybe agree with that. But we don't talk about mainly the positive things to celebrate.
He really just gave people a day off, another day off.
Really? And it's 28 days in February of talking about all these things where people were looked at as subhuman. How does that?
We need to get super deep into it. February is the worst month to be a Black person. February is the worst month in the year. One, because it's super short. Two, it's literally one of the coldest months of the year. And we as Black people, as African Americans, as Negroids, as melanated people, melanin, and people of the sun, that is the worst time of year for us to do anything. We do not do well in cold weather. There was no cold weather in Africa. Even if you're one of those Black people that believe that we are from America, there was no cold weather, or not as cold weather as in February in all of America. I don't know. You have to ask a scientist about it directly, but I digress. These other cultures, they get to celebrate their things in America because they play a part into the American game and the etymology of when we start really breaking things down. Like Black history, just the word black itself, it denotes negativity. It denotes absent of purity. It denotes, like, just look in the dictionary, all the things that are associated and literally the definition of the word black. And that's what we choose to identify ourselves as. And you are very correct. We do not go past a certain time. We never go past slavery. We always start with our most traumatic events. And it's literally just a look at how these people had to survive in such great adversity. And it's like we had times before adversity. And as I do agree that we shouldn't just pull our children out of those, schools with other children, because we do want these other children to know about not just Black history, but African history, because everyone in the world comes from Africa. The first human in existence, their bones were found in Ethiopia, which is securely in fucking Africa. So everyone has a bit of African in their DNA. So to honestly rob children, rob the future generations of this information, it's very deliberate, and it's very it's how you dominate a people. You don't just dominate them physically, you dominate them mentally, because to dominate them, you can dominate only but one person at a time physically. You can dominate the masses mentally. And that's what ancient cultures would do as they would conquer and subjugate a people. They would first burn down their libraries, strike their information, wipe out the knowledge of who they are, where they come from, so that we can tell them who they are and where they come from. Like, I always had the ill thought of, like, just growing up in Fayetteville, in North Carolina in particular, there's a lot of there's a few Native American people, or a few people that, claim to be of Native American descent. And to imagine that, to be a Native American sitting in or a Native American child sitting in your class learning that Christopher Columbus discovered your country.
Mm-hmm.
The learn that the reason your people were relegated to reservations is because the Europeans were from Europe. They had a different they had a different type of thing, so they got everyone sick, and then the Native Americans died off that way. No, you murdered them, you raped them, you pillaged them and shit. And I get it. When the people who control our institutions are in control of the curriculum, they're going to paint history. The winners write history. And when it just boils down to it, we as the African diaspora have not won history yet. We did, but at the turn of the millennia, or the turn of the last two millennia, the Europeans, the Arabs, the other quote unquote Hebrews, quote unquote, all banded together to round up the African and profit off the Portuguese. Can't forget the fucking Portuguese, the Dutch, they was in on it too as well and shit. And these institutions control our school system. John D. Rockefeller puts money, or was the originator of our modern American school system. And if you just look a little bit deeper into what the Rockefellers built their wealth on and built their life on, it's really about subjugating the masses in order to become consumers and workers, so that they can generate money for the income for the ever so present illustrious they that we are always mentioning.
Let me amend my statement just a little bit from what you said, LT. It's not so much I wouldn't have a problem with just Black students going to Black schools. I just wouldn't want the responsibility of history being taught the right way for everybody.
A white mom who has nothing to do all day, and I don't even mean to say nothing to do all day, like being a mother and a wife is not something to do, but when her child comes home and says, "Mom, I learned that we were slave owners," and people are naturally made uncomfortable by the things that their privileges, their privilege shields them from, and they, like, when it just boils down to it, they have, because the mother is the essential teacher of the family aspect. Because if we go back to it, it all goes back to that document where the CIA was purposefully trying to target the Black family unit. An essential element of that is education, because the child is going to spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week at this school. So if we can fill their mind with the knowledge that we want them or we need them to have in order to become a good cog in this wheel that we call society, we're going to need total control over that. And when mothers, particularly white mothers, don't like the curriculum, they band together, even if they don't all necessarily agree, they band together and they invent change. They get involved on a legislative level. They'll be on TV, like episodes of South Park, Moms Against Canada. You know what I'm saying? If there's a violent TV show or a violent video game, you can always bank on a plethora of angry white mothers trying to, quote unquote, protect their children. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to protect your children from a reality. You're trying to protect their children from the truth. Like we love lying to our kids as if they will never experience the world one day. But that's literally a privilege blocking you from not only truth, but actual salvation.
Well,
Yakubian devils. That's why they're the people from. That's why I said like all this shit about February. They're from the cold. That's why they're attacking the sun. White people are attacking the sun. They are attacking water and the sun. Those are literally the two things we need to exist on Earth: water and sun. They come from cold Caucasus Mountains, Iceland, Greenland, Norway, Scandinavia. And they want us to celebrate our heritage in February? You don't, and what you don't want to do, I'm sorry to go on a long wind, like we're learning mathematics, we're learning science. It's so funny, quote KRS-One, we're learning about triangles and geometry from the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagoras, a white Greek, European, Yakubian devil, who literally roamed around ancient Kemet for 5 to 10 years begging Nubian and Kushite people to give them knowledge that was already adherent to them so that he could go back to Greece and bastardize it and take credit for it, because there were just simply more of them than were us together at the time. That's the one thing. If Africa ever banded together and just wasn't like 54 nations all fucking divided, it would be a problem. Europe, when they were about to get swallowed by the Persians, or all of Greece, they banded together. And that's when Europe really became a fucking empire, because, oh shit, these Persian motherfuckers is about to come over here and conquer us. No, 300 Spartans, you know what I'm saying? But I digress. Back 4th / in the 5th, if a panel is to happen, we got to make sure these black people is for black people.
Well, one thing is probably missing, and it's kind of delving back in our first conversation, is the voice. The voice is seen as strong when there's a family unit involved. When you go up to these Board of Education meetings and they only see the mother there, and it's a black mother on top of that, doesn't ring as strong as a white mother. That may be a single mother, but her voice is a little bit louder, I think, than a black mother is, but it's really louder when you have both parents there and it looks like both parents care about the well-being of their child. That's something I think, well, I know white people have a stronger unit with, and they're going to be heard more just based on the value of how they see people or our people in this country. It's really going to be, you add extra points with a black family when there's actually two family.
Those white people vote. Those white people show up to the PTA meetings. Those white people donate to the schools. They have their names on buildings. They sponsor shit. They do, like, they're involved within their community, because you don't assume when a white mother comes into the school, you don't assume that she's a baby mama. I'm just going to go ahead and say, you don't assume she's a baby mama. You don't assume she's a single mother. And literally, sometimes all women have to do is, especially white women, all they have to do is threaten. Once I talk to my husband about this, we'll see, like my husband will stop funding the school, or I'm gonna, like, you know, and again, even just not that, they're more informed on where to go and what to do within their city, because again, when you have the luxury of being in the appropriate family unit where you have a provider and protector, a nurturer and a teacher, and a optimistic, beloved child, things grow. That's like literally putting the best seed in the best soil and growing the best fucking tree. You need water and sun, though. Again, melon, like And white people understand this as a unit. Other cultures understand this as a unit. Our culture has been led away from that. It has directly been, we literally have directly, both directly been attacked, targeted even. All three, the black man, the black woman, and especially the black child.
LT, you know what it comes back to? Comes back to business plan. You don't think they put a business plan on us? They put a business
plan on us. There are people like I know people are still making money off of the blood, sweat, and tears of my ancestors, and the literal education system is now being geared in a way to have me disconnect from those ancestors. They want to eradicate the way we even know slavery. There's going to be a whole generation of children that think that slavery is a myth because the way they're trying to rewrite our history books. And if we want that to change, we can't just tweet about it. We can't just, you know what I'm saying? We can't just fucking TikTok about it. We got to go up to the school. We have to be more involved about it, and we have to be able to be taken seriously. They only take us, any group of people is taken seriously when they are a unit.
Yes. And every unit that we're talking about, whether we're just talking about white people, or we're just talking about gay people or the LGBT community, they all have a business plan. The reason why the LGBT community became so strong in such a short time during the social media era.
Their people show up, they petition, they vote. They not only do that, they do the social media thing, but they put action behind that.
Right, you're true. That's right.
And you know what? This is what kills a lot of people. They put their money where their mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
Like they invest in it. It takes investing. It takes actually sponsoring things. It takes donating. If you need, like, how do you think ownership comes about? Through just inheritance. We don't have the luxury of just inheriting generational wealth as they have.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many gay kids that were just gay rich kids. Like it's, you know, like that's how they got this smoothie shop over here in downtown Brooklyn or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I DJ on the weekends, but like my dad's fucking rich, so I do that one also.
Yeah, they all came up with a business plan. Some of those business plans are 50 to 100 years set in stone. How this country is ran, how interest rates go up and down, how people are taxed from the poor to the rich, all that stuff was done 50 to 100 years ahead of time.
Oh yeah, by Queen Elizabeth. And then you want to know who came and made sure the Queen Elizabeth, the first Queen Elizabeth, not the one that just died. But yeah, the motherfucker that came and made sure all of that shit went through. King James. Yes, not LeBron. Not LeBristle. Yeah. But King James, the writer of such great hits as the Christian Bible.
Mm-hmm. That's what's going to end up having to happen, though. If we're going to have a panel of black people, we can't just say a panel from year to year what's supposed to be taught. We're supposed to have that supersede all that and see what we're going to talk about for 30 years ahead of time. Then also understand what we teach. How is that going to improve the morale of black people? Because I think we're angry. I think a lot of them are angry. Some of them are angry for no reason. I'm not saying that slavery is not a reason not to be angry, but be so angry to where you can't think of anything else to do with your life besides say, if this happened in my life, or if the white man do this in my life, then my life would be better. I'm sorry, but they're not going to. They're not going to pull you up by the bootstraps. I don't want to say you should do everything for yourself. You have hurdles, and we have to jump over them. But that's just the way of the world right now. We're going to have to, but we have to do it as a collective unit. Not by ourselves, not independently. This is another thing that destroys us. This is why you don't hear white women say they're independent women. You don't hear that. We are only I never heard an Asian woman ever wear an independent girl t-shirt.
Their mothers ask them, "Why you not married? Why you single? You 27? You need to be married."
It's gonna get you canceled. God damn it, LT.
I take Salat Toy Moy classes, so
they're going to jump you. The next class, they're going to jump the hell out of you. We heard what you said the other day. We don't appreciate it, even though we do talk that way. We don't appreciate it. Go ahead, do the mouth thing.
Be like water is what I will say. It was like, oh shit, you quote Bruce Lee, you are king now.
Wow. See, if I had said that, I would be.
That cutaway sketch in Family Guy where Peter was like, I'm going to go to a black neighborhood and say the N-word.
Oh, so
he's cut away and he's wearing a fucking robe and a crown. They made me that king.
Oh man, I don't know how Family Guy's still on the air. Preezy, you have anything to add on it before we will move on to the next subject? Oh, you on mute?
No, I'm good. I'm sorry.
All right, she good. All right, we about to go into the dating aspect. For the next couple stories, Kendra G. I'm pretty sure y'all might be familiar with her. She has a dating show where she has randoms come up there and they state what they're looking for and what they offer or bring to the table. And we're going to see how this interesting guy, and we're going to see what he brings to the table. And Preezy, maybe you might want to talk to him. No, you might like him. Let's see. He might be your type. Let's see.
Let's see where he at. What he look like. Don't be setting
Where you
me up.
calling me from, babe?
I'm in Houston right now.
Houston, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Oh, he
27. What you do for a living?
You're old 27.
We do real estate.
Do you have any kids yourself?
Man, technically, I got 7 kids, but you know, they don't supposed to be here.
Oh Lord. What do you mean they're not supposed to be here?
Yeah, man. Like, you know, I met a few women within my lifetime, and you know, they just decided to keep the kids, and I ain't want them. So technically, I got 7 kids, but in actuality, I don't.
And you're proud of this?
No, ain't nothing to be proud of. That's just how the goddamn dice roll.
So you have 7 kids, and I mean, I'm assuming you don't take care of them.
Oh no, of course not.
And that makes sense to you?
No, that make a lot of sense.
Tell me why.
What the fuck?
They don't supposed to be here. I gave an option. So I can read this mistake that we both made. All for plan B, all for abortions, you know, and you know, women gonna do what they do. I can't control their body, so you know, they decided
Why
to
did
keep
you go
them.
through that 7 times? Why didn't you switch up after the first or second time?
I was an immature child at the time. You feel me? Not even child. I was just an immature young man, not giving a damn about the decisions I was making.
So you have 7 kids in this world that you are making it clear that you do not raise, and you feel as though that is okay.
I ain't never said it was okay. That's just my life.
Well, these kids are innocent. Why should they be deprived from a father?
I mean, they weren't supposed to be here, so it's just like.
But they are here. Either way, they are here. As a responsible human being, you don't think whether they're supposed to be here or not, they are here. So you don't think as a man it's still your responsibility to raise children that you help create? And I can see if it happened one time and you felt this way, but you proceeded to do it 7 times.
You know, we proceed to do it. We proceed to make the same mistakes in life. You know what I'm saying? Eventually we learn for it. Yeah, it's not a responsible, it's irresponsible actually. So, but I don't have no feelings towards the mistakes that I made. So they here, they should blame their mama for being here. You feel me? And that's how I feel about it.
What kind of woman are you looking for on my show house?
Man, I need an irresponsible woman with no morals. She don't want too much. I ain't asking for the best of a woman. I just need a woman. That's it.
So you want to find an equally irresponsible woman? Could she have kids?
She only can have about 3 kids, minimum 2 baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do too much. I can't deal with a woman that got like 3 baby daddies. I'm a hypocrite. That's hence the name. Like, you can't do what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how do you feel about the people that's going to have definitely a lot of things to say about you?
There's a lot of people that had a lot of things to say, and I don't feel no way about it. You're gonna have your opinion. You ain't live this life. So it's like it's open for discussion and open for debate and criticism once I put it out there on the internet. I can't feel no type of way about the opinion that you gonna try to bestow upon me, and I'm not gonna fight it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you feel because you might know somebody or you might be a victim of a deadbeat father. I can't argue with nobody about their opinion.
Wow.
All right, so Preezy.
You was getting ready to hook me up with somebody like that.
We got a winner.
You don't think nothing of me.
Oh no! I'm just
you was about to be number 8.
Oh my God, he's disgusting.
Yeah.
And he's on a dating site, dude. You're never gonna get anybody. You're gonna just be getting smashes. Nobody wants nobody like that. I would set my worst enemy up with that person. 7 kids. Oh, he don't have kids because he told her to get rid of them.
We started with technically. Anytime someone asks you if you have
he did keep it real.
And you started with technically.
Give you 2 minutes, right quick, Preezy. So you know, could he be your type? You don't never know. I don't know.
No.
You never know.
If I was homeless, there you go. If I was homeless in the street, I wouldn't mess with that dude. Are you kidding me? He has no respect for himself. How you gonna have respect for women? He don't want love. He just need women to just, what do you guys call it? Smash. That's what he needs. He don't need no relationship. He's not relationship. Oh my God. How old is he? 27?
20.
He's what? He's 27?
Mm-hmm.
What a piece of destruction he is. He's a piece of destruction. Lord, who is hooking up with him? Somebody that has low self-esteem, insecure, no self-worth, no self-love. Not sure if they want to be here. That's the only people I can think that will hook up with this dude. You don't even take care of your kids. Now he's saying, oh, I'm a hypocrite. He's handsome. I want a hypocrite. I don't mind. You can have 3 kids. He don't mind if you have 3 baby daddies. Dude, why you even came on this site? Why he came on this site looking for love? He ain't looking for love. He looking, I don't know what he looking for. He need to find himself. He don't have no self-love. He don't have no self-love for himself. He got 7 kids out there. He wasn't wearing no condoms. You tell girls to get rid of it. And it's a shame because he got 7 kids, 7 beautiful children out there, and he wants nothing to do with them because he told the women to get rid of them. Wow. And that's what a woman would want? There's chicks out there that would want him? Nah, he gonna be on the porch. Yeah, you right. But they don't have no self-love for themselves. So I guess he gotta find somebody that's just like him. And they out there, believe it or not. Terrible. I'll be singing for the rest of my life if that was the only man that was on this earth.
So what you're saying is no.
Hell no. You got to put the hell in front of it.
Oh, the hell.
Hell, chicka boing boing.
I tried, man.
He could be good for a chicka boing boing, but that's about it. He ain't getting no
phone.
Not with me. He could be. No,
that boy popping out babies like
this guy has no self-respect, not only for himself, but for women. Where's his mama? Where's his daddy? Where's his aunts and uncles? Where are these people? Because he has no self-love. He has no self-love.
Right.
Terrible. Poor children.
All right, LT, you're up next.
Are you ready? Go!
So yeah, this dude's I really don't even know how I can stretch talking about this motherfucker into 2 minutes. It just kind of makes you wonder, damn, what was your upbringing? Like you don't even see the importance in the father. That just leads me to believe you never had a father to see the importance in the father. This is very disturbing. This is very sickening. 7 fucking kids. And like it's man. And I really don't even want to, oh God, Oh. Yeah, what was he there for? I don't even get it. I have nothing of moral value to say. Like he really doesn't deserve a deep, extensive. Sure, I will roast him though. He seemed like the type of dude that gets up at like 11 o'clock in the morning, is at a tobacco store by like 1 p.m. buying honey packets so that he could spend all day on like dating apps scrolling and trying to find some other women to impregnate. Like he honestly, this man hates himself. That's why I don't want to he's just reeking of I hate myself. I don't see no value in myself. I don't see no value in the things or the people that I have created. And this is kind of why they told us to, not have sex until we were mentally, emotionally, and spiritually ready to do it. Like, because our bodies develop so fucking quickly, we think because we're physically ready to go, it has to fucking happen. But that is not the case. And that's what happens. This motherfucker walking around with 7 of them things out there. 7, one for each day of the week. And again, like just the lack of care and love for self, you're not protecting yourself. You're thinking, well, as long as there's a way to get rid of it, I'm absolved of all responsibility. That is the actions of a child. I honestly don't know how he made it this far. Like natural selection should have picked him off a long time ago.
All right.
Are you ready? Go!
Yeah, I don't know how much I can add to this. I mean, y'all pretty much just said it. This has been the theme to me the whole show. It's like, what was your business plan? And I'm speaking to the women too. That if they knew, that's a if they knew this guy had a history of having kids like this, because I don't know if he had a kid, maybe 2 kids with one, and he's like, hey, I want you to abort it. And then they stayed with him and then had another one with him, or there's just 7 different baby mamas. I don't know. This guy does not have any lick of accountability whatsoever. Because I was hoping at some point these ladies, I don't know if they were in a relationship or this was a hit it and quit it, but if they were in a relationship with him and they saw he didn't take care of his kids, that's a sign that he doesn't take accountability. And at some point, if he's not going to take care of something that's a part of him, his own DNA, then what is he going to do to something that's not his DNA? His wife. If he ever comes, not to say he's probably never going to get married. He probably doesn't even want to really be in a long-term relationship at all. Based on the fact here, he's not in one. I have no idea why he would be on that show besides what Preacher said, just to maybe find somebody to baby number 8 and baby number 9 and 10. And then at some point he had 10. I don't know if it's true, but if he had 10, I don't know if he had to pay child support or not. I've heard that. I don't know if that's a rumor or a myth. That's the only reason I can see him even going on this show. But if any woman signs up to be with him, shame, it's gonna be shame on you. I can't even get mad at the guy for fooling the woman here. If they see this and they still try to get with him, they say something like, oh, I can change him, it's on you there. To the women that didn't know who he was in the beginning, okay, yeah, you messed up, but this is also why you can't just throw that thing out there because anything can happen. You got to plan for the future to get married. I know I'm guilty of it. I've done it and didn't get married and had a kid out of wedlock like that, but it happens. I'm not saying I'm just trying to go off of what I've been through and go off of what other people told me. I wish I did it differently, but you live and you learn, but you don't live and keep making the same mistake over and over again. And then you forgive yourself by saying, oh, I'm just a hypocrite. That's the dumbest thing in the world. If you're a hypocrite there, you're a hypocrite everywhere. So I won't even trust you working for me, let alone having a relationship.
It's like, what is his base motivation? Because it's like you put together a whole organization called House of Hypocrites, which if you just it kind of spells hoe, or something. But yeah, like you have the time, energy, and dedication to put into causing these interactions so that you can make these. Didn't even want to put on a condom. Like honestly, I can. Life happens. You can slip up and slip in and end up accidentally a parent. That fucking 7 times. 7 times. You made 6 choices after that.
Yeah.
Like on some real shit. I don't give I'm not even gonna let you skate with. Well, see, the second time I accidentally got pregnant. Like, no, because ain't no like once you go to the doctor, they explain how all of this shit happened to you to begin with. Like, ain't no mystery about it after the first time. Yeah, like I just see a lack of care for everybody involved, and yeah, I didn't even think about the element of women. I mean, women already know that you have to stick to the standards that you have for yourself. The fact that this happened 6 more times after, I mean, because again, you could be talked into, like Preezi was saying earlier, people change over time. You could literally figure out this person is living a whole different life. You know what I'm saying? He could have been lying. He might have just gotten to a point where he is honest about this kind of thing. Like you were saying, Ray. We don't know if he has multiple children from one baby mama. We don't know what the situation was. We don't know what the nature was of each of these individual relationships that led to all 7 of these fucking children. Like if it's one person would sit like, I don't know. Like there's not enough context, but just in the fact that just on a base presentation, the 60 seconds that he gave me, it just seems like you're looking to plant your seed, but not even visit the fucking tree. Like what's you planted a whole bunch of seeds on this planet that you're never going to water them. You're never going to implant your and the only person that does that and does not want to stick around to implant their wisdom, their ways, their raising pattern onto the person that they created is a person that doesn't love themselves. Because you don't think you're worthy of it. You probably never had it. No one ever showed. No, even the person that was around taking care of you probably didn't appropriately show that to you. You're a hurt, wounded child yourself. And it's sad. It's sad that people kind of feel comfortable in just admitting that. Like it's where did shame go? Like at least shame would want you put time. It takes money to run an organization. Red, I know this shit that you do takes money. Like this stream, fucking Steam yard. It takes money to have you have a whole organization, but you don't want to take care of your children financially. Like you don't want to make sure that the people you created are eating, that they're warm, that they know your voice, that they know who the fuck you are. You don't care about leaving your mark in that way, but you want to leave your mark as a hypocrite. That's how you want to go out. That's what your tombstone is going to read. Fucking fuck nigga, the first name fuck, last name nigga, house of hypocrite.
That's a legacy. I don't know who he's gonna pass it on to.
Like that just creates that fucks the world even more because you just created 7 more people who will not have information about who they are, where they came from. That's an essential part of coming into yourself. Your mom and your mom and your dad, that's where you come from. If you don't know half of that, you don't know shit about yourself.
God. You know what that man, I just thought that makes slavery even stronger then. Damn. Because you just said the same thing about fucking people who was in slavery. You have no idea where you came from, done by oppressors, and this is done by your blood. How does that really make you feel?
That's how you fuck a whole. That's what J. Edgar Hoover and the CIA would like to call a job well done. That's how you fuck a people out of their their generational, not even birthright, just their generational right to what the Constitution, as they were using Frederick Douglass to talk about the fucking Constitution, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Everyone is able to come to this country except for the people who were brought here forcefully to enjoy life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That's when a plan comes together. That's how money is supposed to work for rich people. When you don't have to do anything and the money works for you, that's what the plan is for this. White people don't actually have to be racist to make a plan come together because we do it to our own selves. That's a hell of a plan.
It is. It's
It's something that's probably done 50 to 100 years ahead of us.
America is a corporation. America is an LLC. America, they always talking about how we in debt, but again, we just gave more motherfucking money and more fucking guns to Ukraine. Did we even sell them the guns? No, we just gave them guns.
Go figure.
For the fuck? What? Like,
you about to freeze up. I know you are. I know you are. All right. Next one, last story, another relationship question about who was wrong in this situation. Was it the husband or the wife? We're going to see what the situation was. Y'all going to give your opinion on it. Let me find the video. Was he or her wrong?
Husband crossed the line when he left his wife at the airport. The husband explained they had about 15 minutes until boarding started, and his wife insisted on going to Starbucks, which was on a different terminal. He told her she didn't have time, but she didn't listen. He waited as long as possible, but when the gate agent was about to close the door, he decided to get on the plane, and the wife did not make the connection.
Yeah, throw the whole wife away. First of all, he was going to visit his daughter. So when the wife decided to go to another terminal with 15 minutes to board the plane, she made him make a choice between her and his.
I don't know why the video.
I mean, that's all it took. Shit.
I don't know why the video stopped on that, but I guess enough of it was told. I don't know why the video stopped there. Okay. Well, I guess we heard enough of it. We know the situation that happens. I wanted to hear the rest of her opinion. There was about maybe 15 seconds left.
Wow.
Who was wrong in this situation? Was the husband wrong for leaving the wife at the airport, or should he have waited and possibly just had to get another flight to go see the daughter? All right. So, LT, I'll let you go first on that one. I'll give you the clock, give you the stage. You tell us, we'll do it or leave it or medicated. Leave it if you think the husband was right to do what he did. Leave her at the airport and, hey, catch you later. I got to go see my daughter. Medicated if you think he was wrong. And he just should have waited and possibly she maybe catch it at the last minute, or they just wait to get another flight. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I even do that, I'm sorry. Leave it or medicated. My fault.
Damn. Damn. This is a good one. We don't usually get to the man. I am conflated. Let's see. The leave it is he was right, and the medicated is he was wrong.
Yeah.
Because you know what? That's funny as shit. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it.
Tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
I laughed. I think it's funny that the choices are literally, it seems like, just in my perception, it seems like the choices can only be, is he right or is he wrong? And you notice how there's no element of what she did involved in that. Because we can all acknowledge every time it comes to, like, we talk about relationships a lot, but we always, as we were just saying about education, all of this, the most important element of the part of our relationship is the children that we create from this. This man had an obligation to go see his child. I hope that he made sure his wife was safe or his girlfriend was safe. Was this his wife or his girlfriend?
His wife.
Okay,
his wife.
His wife. Okay. I hope that he made sure, but this is his child. Like I think I don't have children, so I would have to. I would literally love to know the perspective of someone who has a child on this. Would you leave your significant other at the airport if that meant missing the date? Because as we added hypotheticals into the who would you save in the boat? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you can't get another flight? What if you gonna be stuck? Like, what if it's the weekend, or what if it's a holiday and you were supposed, like, what if it's important and you were supposed to do this? Like, and you're right, there was a choice made. It seems like a line was drawn in the sand. Who are you going to choose right now? That was so I love that there was more context given, at least, like, because if the child element was not involved, I guarantee you people would have said that he was wrong for this. I think he chose what was in his best interest, because though you are my wife, this is my child as well. Like I made as my wife, you know that our obligation is to our children first and foremost. So if you are my wife, this is your child too. Like you love them, we all love each other as much as like you understand, but you love Starbucks more than you loved being on time for this fucking flight. Okay.
All right. Prissy, what do you say? You want to leave it? You agree that he was right to do what he did, leave to go see his daughter on the flight, leave the wife behind, or medicated he was wrong?
I don't know if he was wrong, but I'll medicate it.
She gonna medicate, so you gonna leave it. Tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
Well, I heard the whole thing. This is not the first time she did this. Yeah, it's not the first time she did this. And the big thing was she the mother or the stepmom?
Stepmom.
And she might have been the stepmom, of course. So, like I said, it's not the first time. And she knew that, the plane was getting ready to, they had to board. Like I said, they said this is not the first time she did this. So is it a norm? Like, is she doing this stuff on purpose? And I think the first time was also the same situation. He was going to see the daughter. Maybe she don't like the daughter. I don't know. Maybe she take chances like that. But I'm not the type of person that really knows about flying, but I did ask a particular person that does. And if they miss the flight, you have to pay extra for that. You have to pay extra when you miss your flight and stuff like that. And there's no guarantee, like Lord Trent said, that you're going to get another flight that particular time or even day. So maybe there was a big event with his daughter. And listen, this is the second time you did this. I told you, don't go nowhere. We getting ready to leave. And she took it upon herself to do it. Maybe she did it on purpose. I don't know. But it was wrong. If you right there, if you can't wait, you got to run and go back. You like Starbucks that much that you're going to miss your flight? So it didn't make no sense. And should he have left her? Well, that's his daughter. And like I said, maybe it was a special event that he had to be there and he couldn't miss this flight. Maybe they had a special meeting, whatever. And she knew. So I'm pretty sure the trip was probably ruined once she got there because he left and everything, but hey, like I said, they said she did it before. So maybe this is a pattern that she does, and we need to find out if she's the real mom. And she's probably the stepmom. So he's more concerned about seeing his biological daughter than she is to see her stepdaughter. And it's silly.
Got crack in it.
It's silly. The plane getting ready to take off. You got an urge for coffee. So come on, she could have did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't want to fly with him. Maybe she had to do get on the phone or text or whatever, text people, whatever. She didn't want him next to her while she did it. You know how it is. You know how the cheating game is.
Okay. There's another element to the story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Are you ready? Go!
I've flown a few times and it's stressful. You got to go through all these check-ins and stuff, get your bag checked in. You got to make sure you get there in time. You got to get there like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours or something like that. Make sure you don't miss your flight. Make sure there's not a long check-in line. Make sure nothing happens with the flight. And when it gets to be about time to board, I don't want to be a half hour. If it's a half hour away before you get on the flight or whatever, I want to be as close to the boarding session as possible. I don't want to get no coffee or get no food because the line could be extra long. You can lose track of time, or you don't hear your ticket being called to get on the plane. So these are all things you have to think about before it's time to get on. She knows this. 15 minutes is cutting it way close. Not unless the Starbucks was like right where they board the plane. That more likely it probably wasn't. That's too reckless. And so in this sense, she wasn't thinking about him and she wasn't thinking about the daughter. Now, if she was the mother, that makes it worse. If she was the stepmom, kind of like the question, last week, if she don't have a bond with her or whatever, but if she's the mom, this is even dumber. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she was the step parent and she just didn't think, that much about the situation. that she could possibly miss the flight. And then you add in that she did this before. She don't care about anyone else but herself, it sounds like. She should have never gone to go get no Starbucks. Now 15 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe. Not 15 minutes. I'm too scared to death because I've missed my flight before doing this very exact same thing. And I flew by myself. And I ain't never did it again. I stick to where I'm supposed to sit at so I can hear everything. I don't think she cared enough to be there for him for that flight. That's something I'm sure they talked about. And they had to talk about because you got a ticket that prints the time they're supposed to leave. The ticket shows the time you're going to board. So I'm sure that's something they talked about before, and she didn't respect his wishes or the airport's wishes. The only pass I will give her on this is if it was Spirit Airlines. And she said, no, I don't want to get on that flight. I'll wait until United Airlines flies the next plane out. And those who have never been on Spirit Airlines, it's a death trap.
I've been on Frontier. That's like the worst shit I've been on so far. I haven't had the displeasure of riding.
I think I went on Frontier.
They're neck and neck. They're neck and neck.
Yeah, Frontier is trash. They do doo-doo butter. Doo-doo butter. Hate them. Do not enjoy their service at all whatsoever.
And they charge you for baggage too.
Yeah, so you trying to miss the flight over some fucking Starbucks. Our bag's gonna make it to where the fuck we supposed to be while you trying to get a frappe. That's not what it is. That's
exactly. A frappe over your daughter.
And yeah, like if that's your biological daughter, you're a sick fuck. You're a Disney mom or some shit. Like you're a wicked stepmother or some shit. Like that's.
Are you that addicted to coffee that you just can't wait?
Right.
I mean, what are you gonna do on the airplane where you need to stay awake?
I'm gonna just go to sleep. I'm like, what else the fuck could I do on a plane? Like, what do I need to stay awake for? I'm on a fucking plane. Now, they gonna need me to fly the motherfucker? Is there snakes on it?
Yeah. The last thing you need to do is be more alert on a plane, especially if you have a fear of flying.
Snakes on a plane. Bars.
So y'all saying ultimately she was wrong then, huh?
She was wrong. She was wrong.
For $500.
He may leave out. Come on.
Alex, right?
Cool.
She'll have to get another flight. I mean, he left her, unfortunately, unprotected like that, but still.
Yeah, good point. But see, she didn't literally saying, "Hey, don't stray away because we're about to miss our flight." It's a form of protection, like verbal protection isn't always physical; it's verbal. Hey, don't go there. Don't. That's all the way across there. If you go there, we're gonna miss our flight. I'm getting on this flight.
Right.
Yeah. So that's also true. So he didn't really leave her unprotected. She strayed away from the protection. So she put herself in that situation. Is how I look at it, in my opinion.
It's like, all right, young Simba, you run away from the kingdom all you want. Goddamn.
Now, let's see. I'm trying to remember how I was going to word this. What if there was no daughter? What if it was just him and her? And he just left because she didn't get on the flight in time.
That changes the situation. That changes the importance of and it sucks to even say that because it's like, maybe him getting to his flight was just as important as a appointment or a date with your daughter, and it still doesn't take away from the just flat out disrespect or the disregard of not missing our flight, because that does still raise an element of irresponsibility and lack of care, because it's like our luggage shows up before we do. We have to reschedule. Like that's a bad time management. That's just not a good or attractive trait in a partner. You know what I'm saying? No one, especially for fucking start, like, because that still stays the same. Even if the daughter doesn't exist, the fact that this was over Starbucks, the fact that you knew or I figured out for you that it's all the way on the other side of the terminal, and we didn't even get the chance to communicate and come to the conclusion that, you know what, since if you want the Starbucks that bad, I guess we can reschedule our flight. Just a literal, well, I'm going to Starbucks, motherfucker. It's like an ultimatum right there in the middle of the worst time ever. Like, time and money is involved, and those two things are very crucial in a relationship, as we've been discussing.
All right. All right. Breezy, you got anything else to say on it before we move?
No, she shouldn't have done that because even if he waited for her and missed the flight, the trip is going to be a mess. Now we got to get new tickets, more money is being put out. So either or, the trip is a mess. She should have stayed right there. If Starbucks is not that important, come on. And when you land, you go get your damn Starbucks. Come on, it's
Well, I'll tell you
stupid.
what. When she does get that extra ticket, if she does proceed to go forward with the trip instead of going back home, because she might have that option now, she might just go back home. But if she does meet him and the daughter, then that's not going to be an enjoyable trip for the foreseeable future, and probably on the way back. That she's gonna be pissed at that for a while.
In no regard towards how you might have played a role in your own suffering.
Right.
Like I want to be the friend on the phone that you call when you, girl, can you believe this motherfucker left me? You know I had to get my double mocha, whatever the fuck. Yup, because that's your thing. You need that. How you gonna fly your flight if you don't have your...
All right. Let's move on to the last thing. We're going to go to the deepest thought for today. So see what happens in the deepest thought. Just let it marinate in your head, what you see.
Excuse me, sir. Do you mind being in a video?
Sure.
Okay. Guess a number between 1 and 10.
1 and 10, I will choose 9.
9?
Yes.
Today's your lucky day. You just won brand new AirPods.
Okay.
No, you won.
How?
Well, you won.
Why?
You guessed the right number. You won.
Sure.
Yeah, you win. All right. Have a good one.
Yeah, boy.
I saw that before. That is messed up. That's cool.
You got to shoot the fade. You got to.
That's cool. That is cool.
I need the little wet haired emo boy with the fucking phone microphone. We gotta run the fade.
Cool. That's cool. Okay, that is cool.
We have to let the good hands commence, because not the fuck. Like, you didn't verify it, you didn't, and you thought it was that easy. Come on. You're buff. All that buffness.
That could have been a skit, though.
Yeah,
it could have been a skit. You're right. That could have been a super duper plan, because we ain't see the end of it. We ain't see the beginning of it.
Could have been a skit.
I've literally watched movies where motherfuckers was on the moon and shit. So,
he could have got arrested at the end of it, or at least charged or something. That would be messed up. If he ever gets a hold of him, like Terry Crews almost got a hold of Cat Williams, and Friday after next? No, last Friday.
Fatality that white because I probably wouldn't have made it out that Target. Like, probably would have been candles right there at the motherfucker, right there at the little hand basket.
All right. That's it. Appreciate y'all coming on. Preezy of Listen Up and Listen In. Thanks for coming on. LT, Lord Trent. Appreciate your time dedicated to the show. And appreciate the audience for coming in and getting some hostile therapy. Not because you want it, but because you need it. We are on Thursdays at 7 p.m. As you know, we won't be on next week, but week after that, we're taking a little break here. We appreciate everybody coming on, enjoying the show, commenting, and getting your hostile therapy. We'll see you on the next show. Y'all have a good night.
Enjoy the supermoon.
Yes.